All right, 8 years into a 10-year plan, HousingNOLA says the city of New Orleans gets a failing grade for providing affordable housing to its citizens.
Okay, get this. The group says by now there should be 7,500 affordable housing units, but so far just over 2,400 have been built. WDSU reporter Ariel Broomfield in the newsroom with how this is affecting our community. Ariel.
You guys, HousingNOLA found the median rent in New Orleans has increased almost by $1,000, but the income of residents has decreased by almost $4,000. And the group says there are not enough affordable housing units to keep a roof over people's heads.
I was homeless for about, I'll say, 5 or 6 months.
A dire crisis many feel is not being met.
It's because the access is not what it's supposed to be. That's what's frustrating. People aren't making the right policies.
It's pushing people out of their homes and onto the streets of New Orleans. Tasia Gaspard is a 24-year-old veteran who for months lived in a shelter before finding housing. She says limited resources and assistance are prolonging New Orleans residents from getting roofs over their heads.
I know how much it took for me to do it, how long, the time and energy. Everyone doesn't have that time and energy.
The city of New Orleans received a failing grade from HousingNOLA for not providing enough affordable housing units.
The first 2 failing grades were actually a warning of things to come. When you look at what's happening with inflation, underneath inflation, housing is at the core of the inflation crisis.
Andronika Morris, executive director for HousingNOLA, says elected officials are getting distracted.
Because we haven't addressed housing in a comprehensive fashion, we haven't advanced the benchmarks, we haven't implemented the policies, we haven't held our elected officials accountable, things have gotten worse across the board.
And residents are paying the price.
More than half the people who live here can't afford to actually live here.
And we haven't heard back just yet from the city regarding HousingNOLA's report card. We do know the city's housing authority website says it's assisted 17,000 families through its Housing Choice Voucher program, and there are still 20,000 on a waiting list. Live in the newsroom, I'm Ariel Brumfield, WDSU News.